Okay, so our next worksheet that we're going to be putting together is going to be one that keeps track of our marketing and budget plan. And it's going to be quite a few items on this thing, but the idea is just to kind of get some ideas as far as, you know, the types of designs that you can kind of put together. As I said in the last video, what's most important is to kind of figure out what you're trying to keep track of, and then initially get all those labels in that have to do with it. And then, of course, once you got the labels in, then the numbers fall in. Once the numbers fall in, then you've got your formulas. And of course, after the formulas, you can then, you know, format to make it look nice, make a graph out of parts of it. But the idea is that you need to, first of all, get those labels in. So we're going to be keeping track of a number of different areas, personnel, marketing communications, direct marketing, channels, and things like that. But you'll see it as we go along here. So the labels, in addition to just having like personnel and marketing and all that, we're also keeping track of these numbers over a monthly basis. So we've got to think about, do we want to put our expense type labels, I guess, on the side here, or do I want to put, and then of course put the months up here, or do I want to put the months here and put the other labels along the top there? And I think it's probably going to look better. I think people are expecting, when they're looking at things like this, to see the months going along the top. So we're just going to do it like that. So we'll start out with maybe going over here to B1, all right? And we're going to type in JAN, so JAN, just like that. Enter that in. And of course, we'll go back to it. As you saw in that last video, I can then point to the bottom right-hand corner. Now this time we're not going to be going down, but rather we're going to be going across, see? So I'm going to bring this all the way over until we see it, say, in that little indicator, December. When we get December, let go, and there's all of our months just like that. Okay, pretty cool. Now along the side, that's where we're going to be putting in all of our different labels. So in this case, we want to put maybe a heading called personnel, okay? And then right below that, we'll put in our salaries. And I'll just put salaries, comma, wages, something like that, right? Enter that in. Now through the magic of video, I got a few more in there for you, all right? Okay, now skip a couple lines there, and then on this one here, I'm going to start with marketing communications. I don't think you want to watch me have to type all this stuff in there. So again, I'll hit the enter key, and then with the magic of video, absolutely amazing, the speed of that, huh? All right. Again, I don't think you'd want to sit there watching me type, right? Now we'll skip a couple rows there. We'll go down to row 23 here, and here we're going to type in something called channels. All right. And again, with the magic of video, there it goes on that one. Now we'll skip a couple more rows again, and on here we'll put the word other, okay? And then other will have a few headings underneath that one. And there we go. Okay, so got all of our labels in there. So as I said in the beginning, what's important is you get your labels in there first, so you know, so at least you know what you're looking for to put in as far as numbers go. Now I know when I look here, I can say, well, I need to figure out, you know, salaries or payroll or advertising for January and stuff like that. Now, what I'm going to do, just to kind of keep it from getting too confusing here, I'm going to go ahead and point to the border here between A and B. Just do a double click, and that will then make the columns wider. Okay, so there we go. All right, so now that we have the labels in there, then we can actually put our numbers in. So for the salaries and wages, that's going to be, let's say, 57.35. This will be 163, 1606, right? And then 499, just like that. So now all we have to do is do the rest of the months. And through the magic of video, we get the other 11 months in there. So now I'm going to go down to January for branding and advertising and so forth. And this was 657, this was 434, and this was 522. And then for our direct marketing, we had what's 458, 458, 565, 740, 693, 618, 448, and 725. Oh, I went too far. Nope, we did it right. Okay, good. All right, so now with a little magic, we'll fill in the other 11 months. And bingo, there we go. Okay, now a little bit further down, we have our channels. We've got 3 numbers in each of the months to go there. But actually, we're not going to be filling in all of them. And bingo, there we go. Like I said, we're not filling all of them in. You don't need to. It's whatever you need to put in there, right? Okay, so for the last one here, all right, so we'll go down here and we'll put our numbers in. Looks like maybe for travel, we'll put in maybe, we'll put in like 10, and then with a little magic. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll go back to the top here. And I like to start out with, at least at the top, because we don't have any room for it yet, I need to put a title for this. And I want to put that title on row 1. So what we'll do is we'll go to row 1 here. We'll do a right click, hit insert, all right? That pushes it down. And what we'll do in here, we're going to put in something like maybe, we'll put in there Acme, marketing, and budget plan, and this will be for 2025. All right, enter that one in. Looks good. Okay, so I think we're going to put some totals in now. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, get a little bit more perspective here. So there it goes, and that looks good. Now, personnel is kind of like a heading, and then we've got these here, and then we need some sort of like total down here. So what we can do here is I can type in something like personnel total. There we go. All right. And then we're going to put our total in here. So at this point, we can just do the auto sum like we had done on that last video. We'll just kind of select this whole range going across just like that. And we'll go ahead then and go to the Home tab, and then you should see the auto sum right there. We'll click onto that, and there we go. Now, what happened on some of these numbers that I had automatically plugged in, you know, through the magic of video, they had decimal places in them that were actually rounded, so that's why you're seeing decimals down here. But that doesn't matter. We're going to get this all cleaned up anyway. All right, so that's good for that one. Now this next heading is the marketing communication. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to put in there marketing communications total. There we go. And then again, I'll just select that range like that. Go back up there and hit my auto sum, and there we go on that one. Go down a little bit further. This will be the channels total, so I'll type in, and then we'll do the other total. Okay, so now I realize that I left something out. I left out not a big thing, but I left out a few expense items. Coming with what we call the customer acquisition and retention. And I also want to put this in between channels and other. So what I'm going to do here is I know that I'm going to need, I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I think like four or five rows. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start at this point right here, and I'm going to highlight 5 rows, just like that. And I'm doing this from the row number, okay? And I'm going to do a right click, I'm going to hit insert, and that's going to push all that down. Then what I can do is I can go to my starting point, which would be about right there, and type in my customer. Okay, so something like that. And I need to put in this. I'll just type in here lead generation, and we also have customer loyalty. And then with the magic of video, we'll fill in the numbers. Ta-da! There it is, right? And I just noticed I put too many A's and loyalty over there, so I'm just going to click onto there, click up here, backspace it, hit the enter key, and there we go. And I'm going to need an extra row here, so I'm just going to do a right click on 34 here, hit insert, push that down, there we go. So now what I can do is I can put my total here, and I'll just call this one CL for customer loyalty, whatever. And then go ahead and put my total in, and I'll just do that by just selecting the range, right? Just like that, and then I can go back there and hit my auto sum, right? And there we go. Now I need to do that also for the channels here, so I'll select that range, all right? Go back up there and hit my auto sum. There we go. And I think that's it. I got one more here, so we'll do this guy here. All right, so there we have it. There we've got our totals now. Okay, so now we're going to go back up towards the top here. And the other thing I like to do is put some totals along the side here. These totals are going to be adding up what we did in each of these different categories over, the 12-month period. So I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to type in the word total just to kind of get it started there. And then on this row here, pretty much we'll just kind of do the auto sum. And we can do that pretty quick. We'll just go ahead and select this first range here, hit the auto sum, right? Again, don't worry about the way it looks. We're going to reformat this a little bit here. So then we're going to go select that range there, auto sum it. The reason why I'm not doing the whole range, all the way from top to bottom is I don't want to get a bunch of zero rows here. So I just want the formula for the rows that have numbers in them, right? So just go to each one of these things. Almost done there. There's our last one. There we go. Now I'm actually looking at some of this and it's not looking right. I mean, these totals up here are fine, but for some reason this is not seeming like it's adding up too much here. If I'm summing up, K25, which is, what the heck is K25? A K25 there. For some reason, it didn't go all the way over. I didn't notice that when I did it. Actually, what happened, too, here's the problem. When we selected this range initially, and then when it did the auto sum, it started here, and it didn't do it all the way over here. So it assumed that you wanted the same formula all the way down, which meant it was adding up this one, this one, this one over, and forgetting these over here. So that's kind of it's not a good one there. That's not good at all. This is the kind of stuff that you have to watch out for, And, I didn't even think of this when I, planned out this video, which is fine. I mean, this is a good thing to run into, At least we know how to troubleshoot it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to point to this cell, this first cell that has the formula. I'm going to double click it. And when I do that, it shows me what's being added up here. And as you can see here, it's just that small range. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my mouse, right? Start here. Let me start that again here. Well, let's do this. We'll go to this cell here. We'll hit auto sum, all right? And it's going to want to do that, all right? So then what we'll do is we're going to redo the range starting from here all the way to there. Let go, so that's doing B25 through M25. That's what we want. Enter that in. Got 20, that looks good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that formula right there, and I'm going to copy that all the way down. See, now it looks good. All right. Now these guys are pretty much the same way. Now what I can do to save myself a lot of time here is I can actually copy one of these formulas down into here. Okay. So what I can do here is I'll go to this cell right here, right click it, hit copy. All right. And then I'm going to go down to this cell here, right click it, and I'm going to paste it. There it is. And that's the number 70. That looks good. Now I can take a look at that formula. I'll do a double click on it, and you can see how it's doing that whole range. So I'll just hit my escape key, and I'm going to go ahead and copy that all the way down like that. That looks good. And then I got the same problem here. So I'll take this one here, right click it, hit copy, click over here, right click it, and paste it. There we go. Now I can take that and I can copy that one all the way down. And there we go. What else do I have going here? I'm looking at this, I'm saying to myself, you know what? Would it have been better to have just filled all of these cells with numbers, and that way I wouldn't have run into this trouble. And I say that I probably should have done that, but I think it's even more valuable to have run into this problem and showing you guys how to troubleshoot out of it, right? Here's our other problem. I mean, we did fine now with the formulas adding up the rows. Now adding up the columns, what's happening with this first one? Well, the first one is adding up from B26 through B27. Well, it's leaving this out, which is fine for most of these until you get over here, where now you got a formula or a number up at the top here. So what we need to do is I'm going to do a double click, or I'm just going to click onto this, right? I'm going to hit my auto sum, all right? And I'm going to re-select the range from here to here. See those three, all right? Enter that in, and then what I can do is I can take that cell now that I had just put the formula into, and I can copy this all the way across like that. So I'm just taking my little black plus there, dragging it all the way over like that, letting go. Perfect. All right? That looks great. Now, let's do the same thing down here. I'm sure this one is just as bad. So I'll click onto this formula here, or that cell. Look at this one. It's just adding up just B33. Unbelievable. All right, so again, we'll hit the auto sum on that. We will select those two right there, enter that in, and now I can take that and I can copy it all the way over. There we go. Looks a lot better with the numbers. And then last but not least, we'll go to this one here. I'll just hit the auto sum. I'm going to select all the way from postage now down to here, right? Enter that in. And then I'll go ahead and copy that all the way across. There we go. And now we're good. So let's get back up to the top here. And let's look at formatting our numbers. So we can actually take everything we have here. So we'll just kind of select all the way across, all the way down. And we'll initially start it with the just the comma format. So we'll go ahead and click onto the comma there, and we'll get the commas in there, and plus we'll also get the cents in there that we really don't need. So we'll go back in there and decrease the decimals just like that. All right, and then what I'm going to do is zoom out just a little bit more, just like that. And I'm thinking that maybe with the actual total rows here, we'll actually make those with the currency format so everybody knows what that is. I just don't like really using currency on everything. It gets very distracting. I'd rather just use it sparingly, just enough to let people know, oh yeah, this is dollars, right? So I'm going to take these guys here all the way over to the total there. And I'm going to go with the currency format. And of course, that's going to give me the currency symbol in there, but it's also going to give me dollar or cents again. So I'll decrease those, get rid of that altogether. And then we'll go down to the next group here, and that'll be for the marketing communications. So we'll select that range, just like that. And we'll go back and we'll get a dollars, and then we'll get rid of the 2 decimals. And then the same thing with these guys here. Go across. And I guess we got the dollars there, like that. All right, 2 more to go. Very quick. Got that there. Go ahead and put the dollars in there. And then we'll also do the 2 there, and then 1 more. All right. Hopefully this isn't too boring as you're watching this. I'm trying to make it as fast as I can here. Let's also look at the column width here. So what I'm going to do here now, in the last video, I showed you how to just maybe select across like this if you wanted to do a number of column widths at the same time. What I can also do is I can just click onto the select all button. That's this guy right here. Click onto that, and then I can go ahead and point to any one of the borders there, double click it, and there we go. That came in really nice. All right. So now let's look at the row here for the total for the first one. And let's say we want to make that kind of stand out a little bit more. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it bold. Start that out. And you know, as a matter of fact, let's do that first. Let's click onto here. We'll make that bold. We'll make this range here bolded. We'll also take all of the labels here and we'll make those bold. That looks good. And now I'll go back down to this row here. We'll make that bolded. We'll make this one bolded. And I'm just using my mouse wheel to kind of wheel down and do that one there. And we'll take that one, make that bolded. And we're going to make this CA total. Relabel that one. Okay, we're good. Now, the other thing I'm looking at here, I'm looking at like this one right here, which it tells me it's in Courier 11. I click on this one here, and for some reason it's Courier 9. All right. What I want to do is kind of get this all of the same size. All right. And I think the easiest way to do that would be just to select everything, just like that, and go in here and pick a size. Let's say we'll make it 16. All right. Now that's too big, but then what I'll do is I'll bring this down and maybe bring it down to 12. Okay. So everything on here is 12. And then I can go back and select it, you know, select everything, double click one of the borders to get it just right. And there we go. And I'm going to zoom out just a little bit more so I can see everything here. Okay, there we go. Then I'm sort of thinking about it. I'm going, well, maybe what I really need to do here with the bolding is get this all selected here. Let me just do this one more time here. Turn off the bold, okay? And just make the headings and the totals bold, okay? Now, I can do this pretty quickly. If I click on the first one, I can then hold down my control key, click onto there, control key still held down, click onto here, there, wheel down a little bit, and then do that one, that one, that one, and that one. See that? All those are going to be bolded. So I just go here and make it bold. There we go. And that's about it. So that kind of stands out a little bit more for it. Not humongous. You might not be able to see it really graphically right now, but it is different. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a nice, not really thick, but just a sort of thick border going around the whole area here, okay? Now what I'm going to do first of all, though, is I'm going to go ahead and insert a blank column here. So I'm going to do a right click there, hit insert, and then I'm going to pull this in just a little bit, something like that, right? Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all the way across, all the way down, just like that. And then I'm going to go over here to the into the font group here. This is in the Home tab. And I'm going to go ahead and make a nice thick outside border. So thick outside border. Click away and you can kind of see what it did there for us. So I got that. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take this guy here, and I'm going to basically merge all these cells. I'm going to take that whole range there, okay? I'm going to do the merge and center, and then I'm going to go ahead and maybe make this just a little bit bigger. So I'll go ahead and hit the big A a few times like that. And then maybe what I'll do is, because this is centered, by doing the merge and center, I can actually go over here and line it up over on the left-hand side and just do it like that. While I'm on the cell still, I'm going to go to the background color here and give that kind of a gray, maybe a kind of a light gray to dark gray look to it, just like that. And what you can also do, which is kind of interesting, is change the font color to white. You can do something like that. Really make it stand out. You could probably even make it stand out even more with just a little bit darker color in there, right? Something like that. That's pretty neat. Then I'll go ahead and make all my labels here centered. So we'll select that, and we can go here and make it centered. There we go. And then maybe take this whole row and give it a different color. So we go back into the background color here. Look at maybe some of the oranges. Those look kind of nice. Go with maybe something like that. Or what you can do too, you can go to the more colors here and find an orange in there, see? And hit OK. And there we go. And these two are they're a little dark here with a dark background, so I can select that and make those also white. And also, I think they're already bolded, so we're good there. So that looks good. Now I can also go back in here and maybe take this range right there and go with a background color. Go a very slight highlight, maybe something like that there would be good. So I'll click onto that. And I can go back over here and then just hit the face of that button, because that'll be the same color. And we'll go to this range right here. Click it, and last range, or select the last, that one there, and then the last one. Then we can just kind of click somewhere, and that'll be it. So there we go. That looks pretty good. All right, now this next thing I'm going to show you is a little bit out there, but you'll see this done by people sometimes, and that is totally get rid of all of the grid lines that we have here, all this grid line action here. Get rid of all of it and then replace it with very select grid lines, okay? Now to turn everything off, just to get rid of all the grid lines altogether, what you can do is, if you go into the View tab, all right, there's a choice here called Grid Lines. And if you take the grid lines off, you get that. All right, so now I'm going to go back in and actually add my own grid lines just to select areas, and that way it'll have a tendency of making things kind of come out and stand out a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select from here all the way to there and down to there, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Home tab, and I can go to any one of these dialog box buttons here, click onto it, and go into the border, all right? Now, what it's showing you here is that we have a thick border. You can see that black border, the thick black one. We've got it there, and we got it on the right-hand side as well of this selection. What we're going to do is we're going to add a thin, so we're going to take this thin one right there. We're going to go with maybe this color here, okay? And we're going to put it along the top. So I click up here, it puts it along the top. I want it on every one of the rows that I've got selected, so I want it on the middle. And I also want to be vertical ones as well. So I'm going to click here, and that does the vertical one. So I clicked into these areas here, but I could have also just clicked here, click there, and click there, right? Now once I do that, hit OK, click away from it, and there you go. And that's looking pretty good. Now, I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'll take this whole range right here, just like that. Go back in, go to my border, thin line, I think it was that color there, and then one there, and one there, right? Hit OK, and voila. All right. Same thing here. We'll select from here to there, and we'll go back and we'll hit the dialog and then hit the border, thin line, that color. We want it there, there, and in the middle. Hit OK. Look at that, huh? And then we'll do just these two there. And we'll go back into the dialog, border, thin line, same color. We want the top, the middle, and that. Hit OK, and there we go. And then our last one here, we'll select from postage all the way over. Oh, I didn't do that enough here. There we go. Okay, dialog box, right? Border. And then we go with our thin line. Same color there, right? Click there, click there, click there, and hit OK. We've got that. All right. Then if you want to just add a little bit of emphasis to the bottoms of these guys, we can just take this whole range right there. And actually what we can do is we can actually select, well, I'll hold on the control key and I'll select this range here, wheel down a little bit, and I'll do this one here, and this one here. I won't do the last one because that's already got a border at the bottom, the outside border. All right, so then I'll go back into the dialog box. We're going to go back to our border. This time we're going to go with the thicker line, this one right here, and we'll go with just a little bit darker. We'll do this one here, I think. All right, and all we want is to put that at the bottom. So we just click over here, or you can click on this button right there. There it is. Hit OK, and there we go. And that's it. And last but not least, and then I'll let you go. I know it's been a long video. I appreciate you watching it. I had a blank row above, each of these here, and I didn't put one here. The rest of them are okay. I just want to put a blank row here, and this is kind of an interesting thing to do. I'm going to put a blank row at row 3. So I'm going to do a right click on 3, hit insert. It does that to me. It ends up giving a new row, but it gives me the formatting of what was above it. If I hit this little paintbrush, I can tell it I want the formatting the same as below, meaning it, being pretty much nothing. So I click onto that one, and then that goes away, and there we go. But I didn't have to worry about, having to put an extra border on that new row, because that formatting just kind of carried through there. So that worked out pretty nice. All right, so now I'm done. So hopefully you liked this video. Hopefully you liked what I presented in it. Hopefully it'll give you some ideas as to constructing your own worksheet. So I appreciate you watching.